Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rodangonzi. Let's take a look at the headlines. One selection kicks off with most schools maintaining 2022 cut-off points. Parliament Select Committee on NSSF registers more evidence. While MPs reject committee report on exorbitant school fees. And the 42nd Tarehe Sita celebration set for Mbarara. Hello once again. Let's dig into it. The cut-off points for students entering Senior 1 have been risen in some schools while others maintained last year's. While officiating at the opening of the 2023 Senior 1 selection and placement exercise at Lugogo, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Katie Lamaro, urged head teachers of schools where the learners being placed completed primary education to ensure their curriculars to secondary schools bear their identification numbers of the Education Information Management System.
Head teachers from various secondary schools have converged at Lugogo Uma Showground Main Hall to participate in this year's Senior 1 selection exercise. The exercise, unlike other years, was delayed due to technicalities at Uganda National Examinations Board. This time round, due to automatic promotion as a result of COVID-19 lockdown, some schools have been given big numbers of learners they might not accommodate. The deputy head teacher, Mengo Senior Secondary School, Paul Musoke, says they maintained the cut-off points for last year of between 4 to 6 for boys and 4 to 7 for girls. However, out of the 4,911 learners given to the school, it is only taking 600 and selling 4,311. While Iganga Secondary School has taken up to 8 aggregates and only 240 learners of the 1,700 given to them.
The application that we left at school, we are coming to 1,000. That means that the competition here is too tough. I think this goes to the fact that many students in primary, skipped classes because of fear of age.
We have over 1,200 on our selling list.
Kahinda Secondary School is a seed school in Fort Portal that takes aggregate 28 according to government policy.
When we have these 360 given to us by the system, we still have room to accommodate others who may come in on the selling list.
Kasese Secondary School has raised its cut-off points compared to last year. The deputy head teacher, Bosinje Judith, explained that they have capacity for 400 students but have been given only 360. The Career Master Kira College Butiki Arubu Enoch says their cut-off points of 8 aggregates for both girls and boys is influenced by the entrance quality.
We are at 18, but this time around the cut-off point for the girls is 14, and then for the boys 13. So the cut-off point has come higher than that one of last year.
Because of the quality of performance of the school, which is affected by or influenced by the entry quality.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, Katie Lamaro, urged teachers to be objective, transparent and select learners according to merit.
That we required it for the learners in senior 1.
And then the head teacher should look at the system and pick out the LIN, the learner identification number, and put it on the testimonial, such that when the learner now goes to a new secondary school in senior 1, that number is there.
Chairperson of the placement committee, Dr. Jene Gau, advised head teachers to be honest and fair while conducting this exercise.
Really being honest to our children. There are some children who get 4 and they are left out from a school, and another person of 15, 28, 29 is given a place. These complaints come back to us and the public is concerned. Let's be fair to the candidates that we have. All these children need placement.
I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Kampala.
Now, members of Parliament have rejected a report from the Committee on Education on the motion of urging government to address the exorbitant fees charged by government grant-aided schools. The MPs rejected the report on grounds that its findings were not based on nationwide coverage.
Grant-aided school, where government puts in money and pays 70% of the teachers, or even if it is 60%, they have capitation grant. They are charging over 2,300,000.
In February 2022, Tororo Woman Representative Saro Pendi tabled a motion in the House requesting government to take action on all government grant-aided schools over exorbitant charges. A select committee was then instituted to do investigations over the matter. A year later, the committee today presented the report findings to the House from 6 selected schools. The report was carried out in 6 schools, including Gayaza High School, King's College Budo, Nabisonsa Girls, Kawempe Muslim, Chibuli SS, St. Mary's College Chisubi, among others.
In both private schools and government-aided schools that have been cited, it borders to exploitation. Even if we invoke the principles of demand and supply in a liberalized economy, there is no justification for a school to charge over 2 million shillings right now. There is no justification.
It was found out that all of them were charging above 1.5 million without other requirements, whereas some schools charged 1.5 million as their minimum, others charged 2 million shillings as their minimum. According to the report, a number of these schools hiked their school fees structures to be able to increase salaries of their arts teachers.
Schools had opted to top up salaries for their arts teachers as a motivation to enhance performance of the students. This also accounted for the increase in PTA funds.
Some of the recommendations, however, included establishment of a commission to regulate exorbitant fee structures, engaging implementers who are in the education business to harmonize with the government structures.
Not all statutory instruments come to Parliament for approval. This conflict of interest has continued to affect the regulation of school fees.
We want to cap school fees. Do we have the cost outlay of what schools incur as costs? Have we capped their running costs, where we have a component as stakeholders?
The report was rejected by the whole House on grounds that it did not reflect a national picture, as the samples were only done in and around Kampala.
When the committee toured the government-aided schools, they only concentrated in Kampala. Yet we also have up-country schools that also increase school fees too as well.
Some of the members had, however, proposed the adoption of the minority report that seemed to capture a fairly divergent picture, but was rejected by the Deputy Speaker.
Why don't we approve the minority report?
She has only a few areas of dissent, and she has very many areas where she agrees with the committee. So we would have caused confusion, picking out just a few areas where she accepts, and then we leave all others that are captured in the minority report, then all other major areas.
The committee has been tasked to go back to the field and return after 1 month with a comprehensive report based on a national coverage. Susan Naung and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for ABC TV.
Meanwhile, Cabinet has approved the nomination of Beatrice Anywa, Minister of State for Environment, as a member of the Global Leaders Group of Antimicrobial Disinfectant Resistance. The group is aimed at maintaining urgency on antimicrobial disinfectant resistance across the world. Minister for State for ICT, Godfrey Kabyanga, also informed the press of appointment of new members in Uganda Air Congo Corporation and NERA.
Honorable Beatrice Anywa to serve as a member of the Global Leaders Group on antimicrobial resistance that is intended to, 1, maintain urgency, public support, political momentum, and visibility of antimicrobial resistance challenge on the global agenda. Cabinet approved nomination for appointment of the Board of Directors of Uganda Air Cargo Corporation as follows. The chairman, the incoming chairman, will be Honorable Captain Gad Gasatura, and the board will have members as follows: Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, Mr. Martin Odeke Omedo, Mrs. Jole Kamujina Kamuhangire, Mr. Emmanuel Osuna, and Mrs. Farida Charite will be members. Cabinet approved the appointment of 2 new members of the governing body of the National Identification and Registration Authority, and these are Mrs. Mase Kainowisho, who will be representing the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, and Dr. Atib Mugasa, who will be representing the National Information Technology Authority.
Now, Uganda People's Defence Forces every February embarks on a series of activities ahead of Tarehe Sita celebrations, with community work and hygiene notable among these. The agenda is to recognize the efforts of Ugandans in the NRA war that led NRA to power. UPDF Army officers led by UPDF spokesperson 1st Division Major Charles Kabona have engaged into community work, cleaning Kachiri area and the market.
National Resistance Army, that rebranded to Uganda People's Defence Forces, is to celebrate this year's Tarehe Sita Day with numerous activities across the country's barracks, mainly in Mbarara municipality. Health camps, construction and rehabilitation of social amenities, mainly schools, health centers, and fostering hygiene and sanitation through community work have been key activities ahead of February 6th every year.
Preparation for the Tarehe Sita Day, but thanking the people again by extending some activities in some other places where we shall have national celebrations, like in Greater Mbarara. You will find they have health camps, they have tree planting, they have academic debates in institutions, and they have sports and other activities.
Thursday morning, a team of UPDF officers carried out community work in Kachiri town, with much emphasis on Kachiri market, as residents and shop attendants collected garbage that they put by the roadsides, calling for the attention of soldiers at work to pick it. Kachiri Central Market Chairman Sam Sebagala and the Mayor Kachiri Town Council Moses Bisaso lauded UPDF for the commendable job.
UPDF ne police n'abantu b'omu kitundu okujja twegattako okubeera nti nno bayonja ekitundu kyaffe naddala obutale omuva ebyokulya nina essanyu lingi.
As they are celebrating their 42nd anniversary for giving back to the community, it is a very good gesture when we see men in uniform and women in uniform coming out of their barracks to come and interact effectively with the community. It is an inspiration to the community. The young men and women who are out, who are in our community, when they see men in uniform bending low to pick the garbage, they are inspired.
Uganda People's Defence Forces 1st Division spokesman Major Charles Kabona says that such activities are meant to appreciate citizens for their significance in the NRA victory and cementing a collaborative relationship.
You remember the year was 1981, 6 February, when our gallant soldiers, led by General Museveni, decided to attack the barracks of Kabamba, 1981, and launching a people's protracted liberation struggle. Because this struggle was for the people. Therefore, the people supported us because we are fighting for justifiable cause. Therefore, from that day, we normally come back to the people to thank them, to appreciate them for their contribution, for the sacrifice they made.
The National 42nd Tarehe Sita celebrations are slated for Monday 6th next week in recognition of Mbara District's participation and recruitment of Fronasa patriots. The celebrations will also take place in other regions and areas. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
The Vice Chairperson on Western Uganda for General Muhoozi Kainerugaba Project, Balamba Rugahara, has this Thursday kicked off a mobilization campaign in Kampala, with marketplaces being the main target. The campaign has been launched at Busega Market, Lubaga Division.
On almost every day, mobilizers and coordinators of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba Project continue selling him out to members of the general public.
Nese kusaba President Museveni bwabanga ateekateeka okuwummula atukirize ku lw'obululu bwaffe bwe tulina mu ggwanga General MK amukirize yeesimbewo.
This Thursday afternoon, one of his lead mobilizer, Balamba Rugahara, has spent the entire day in Busega Lubaga Division.
Bavuka capital. Ekizibu kyamwe sente okukola business.
The mobilization drive targeted the youth, vendors and border operators.
Musoka mukubira muzeeyo obugalo okunkuza. Muzeeyo Museveni.
Tusaba muba mutusewa jeno. Tusaba mutugambireko nti looni zitutta abakyala.
Abavubuka abali wano bonna bayinza okuba abasinga badesi ba MK, naye olw'amaloboozi ge tukuwuliramu n'essuubi lye tulina mu jeno waffe, tujja kgenda mpola mpola nga twogereza gye bali, bonna sebo bajja twegattako.
Oba oyina emiti emitoma nti ekibira tekirina kuggwamu miti, abavubuka mmwe ekibira emmwe emiti gy'enkya.
Rugahara appealed to members of Busega community to embrace the 4 Stars General, whom they look at as a potential replacement of President Kaguta Museveni.
I'm glad and I want to thank you for supporting Musei. The last so many years you've been supporting him. I'm appealing to you that time has come when we should support our brother, General MK. So let us work as one. When the time come and he's retired from the army, let us all go to the polling station and vote him democratically. Okay?
For the youth, there is not so much about, but they are looking for someone who will pay attention to their daily challenges.
Njagala bagambe Muzeeyi Yoweri Kaguta ne Muhoozi abasirikale bayitiridde tukwata, twagala kuzza abaana baffe ku ssomero batulinzemu.
The mobilization drive was wrapped up with a luncheon at Busega Central Market for the nearby community. The campaign will in the next week be rolled out in the remaining Kampala metropolitan markets by the same team. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Uganda National Oil Company has been awarded a production sharing agreement and exploration license for the Kasese contract area in Wulisa district. This follows a laborious process right from the announcement of the second licensing around May 2019 by engineer Irene Maloney, who was by then Minister of Energy and Minerals Development.
Uganda National Oil Company's commercial participating interest in the Production Sharing Agreement PSA will enhance the state's direct statutory participating interest in the oil and gas project and enhance the overall government commercial benefits from the 1,285 square kilometers Kasese contract area.
The performance guarantee or commitment to acquire suitable joint venture partners during the first exploration period is something that has to appear in the production sharing agreement. We need to agree on who you are entering into partnership with as government, because you remember you are holding the 15% interest on behalf of government. So all this is in the sharing agreement, which we are going to witness.
As a government entity, UNOC has the mandate to investigate and propose new mining ventures locally and internationally.
So the second licensing round for petroleum exploration was implemented to achieve a number of objectives. First, to attract additional investment in the country's oil and gas sector, but also to expand our country's resource base, which currently stands at 6.5 billion barrels oil in place, with 1.4 billion barrels recoverable.
Proskovia Nabanja, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda National Oil Company, says the entity will use the exploration license as a strategic vehicle to develop its technical capacity to independently operate petroleum exploration and production licenses, which will lead to the maximization of national content in the petroleum operations.
As a very prudent national oil company, UNOC commits to comply with the terms and conditions for the award of the petroleum exploration license, and we shall fulfill all the petroleum exploration obligations of the Kasese contract area as specified in the production sharing agreement and in accordance with the existing law and regulatory framework. UNOC further commits and guarantees Government of Uganda that it will find a suitable joint venture partner within the first exploration period to work with in delivering the technical and financial obligations of the contract area.
UNOC has a cardinal national role to play in the upstream petroleum value chain to ensure sustainable utilization of the petroleum resources in the country. The new development in the oil and gas sector seeks to grow the country's resource base. This is in addition to ensuring that the costly infrastructure that is currently being put up is maximally utilized going into the future. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Kampala.
And Cabinet has noted that Tarehe Sita celebrations will be conducted in Mbarara City Kacheka Stadium. The Army continues to extend social and health services in Greater Mbarara until Sunday this week. As a War Marion reports, the event set for Mbarara is to remember the contribution of FRENASA in the 5-year protracted struggle.
This year's Tarehe Sita celebration shall be held for the first time in Mbarara Kacheka Stadium to celebrate the contribution of Anti-Amin Front for National Salvation, FRENASA, towards the liberation of Uganda.
That sacrificed their lives, sacrificed what they had to support those who liberated Uganda from the dictatorship of Idi Amin in 1979, and they are the forerunners of the revolutionary spirit. That yes, with no resources, you can sacrifice and get where you want to go.
Several activities are being conducted by the UPDF to mark the Tarehe Sita in the districts of Isinjiro, Ibanda, Rampara, Kiruhura, Mbarara and Kazo.
We are treating people with the dental issues. We are dealing with the ophthalmology, that is eye treatments, providing free reading and eyeglasses. We are providing mattresses to health centers. We have immunized expectant mothers and children.
But these are some of the things that we are doing as a ministry to commit ourselves to the people. These are people who helped the founders of the revolution when they were looking for a better vision for this country.
Tarehe Sita, celebrated every 6th of February, is the day a group of fighters launched a 5-year struggle in the bushes of Luwero. This year's celebrations shall be marked under the theme recognizing the sacrifice of the founders of the People's Revolution for socio-economic transformation. Marion Awori and Ivan Kahwa for UBC News.
And judicial officers have been urged to implement what they have learned in the Judges' Conference in ensuring that adequate and timely justice is extended to Ugandans. This call was made by the Deputy Chief Justice, Richard Butera, during the closure of the 4-day annual Judges' Conference in Kampala.
Several judges and registrars at various court levels participated at the 24th Annual Judges Conference, which has been running for 4 days at Mistil Hotel in Kampala. The officials have received enhancement in administration of justice, financial literacy, curbing case backlogs, among others. The 24th Annual Judges Conference was closed by the Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera, who appealed to the judges to exercise determination and diligence in execution of their work.
Let us take as individuals and as an institution, let's undertake as individuals and as an institution to always do our best so that when we converge again for next year's conference, we can talk about our more positive changes in the judiciary. A judiciary where justice is easily accessed and expeditiously administered. Let us use the lessons learned at this conference to be more effective and efficient in the way we execute our obligations.
Butera further commended the judges for the tremendous work done of extending justice to Ugandans. However, cautioned them on unpleasant vices such as corruption that tarnish the judiciary's image.
Best practices have been shared throughout the conference, both domestic and from other jurisdictions. We have been supported by the executive and the judiciary to have a legal regime conducive for our transformation agenda. With increased resources and more resources expected in the short and medium terms, we should be in position to perform better than we have done before. I encourage you, my lords and your worships, to focus on improved performance and improved administration of courts. Put an end to the vices, perceived and actual corruption, absenteeism, delayed delivery of judgments, among others.
In attendance was Emeritus Chief Justice Stephen Kavuma, who applauded the judiciary for the transformation of justice.
To the Chief Justice and the top management of the judiciary for having given those of us who are not in active service in the judiciary an opportunity to renew our relationship with the judiciary by inviting us to attend this very important 24th Annual Judges Conference.
The judiciary also made resolutions and recommendations for better service delivery in 2023. The 24th Annual Judges Conference was held under the theme, The Judiciary Transformation Agenda, Enhanced Access to Justice. Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Okay, so these receipts, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
It's easy.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Now, State Minister for Luwero-Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, has assured veterans in Rwenzori sub-region that government is handling all the issues affecting them. The minister was meeting veterans in the region at Hima Factory grounds in Kasese at an event for the NRM party.
Several people from different opposition parties in Kasese have joined NRM. The State Minister for Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, advised them to join with the aim of changing their lives by engaging and supporting government programs.
This is not a campaign at all, but it is work of the veterans that they have been doing because they feel that it is their duty.
Kaboyo assured Kasese veterans that government is aware of their challenges and they will be handled at the right time.
Criminals that will be wiped out.
The resident district commissioner Kasese, Lieutenant Joe Walusimbi, says the party treats all people equally and advised them to feel at home.
Everybody, we believe in consistency. Let's remain united as we are.
The chairperson, Hima Town Council, emphasized that government has extended a number of development programs to Kasese and encouraged the converts to join NRM.
So far had 10 kilometers road open, and we recently got more 4 kilometers town roads from the Ministry of Works. This shows how the government has really been supportive to us to see that there is service delivery that reaches to the person that is really on ground.
The presidential advisor on political affairs in Rwenzori region disclosed that Kasese is now united and in the next election, President Yoweri Museveni will win thunderous votes.
Kasese from today, on 2026, we shall get 98. And now what is remaining is because of this.
At least 1,318 members reconverted from opposition and joined NRM. Brian Tumwinebiaruhanga, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
The National Drug Authority has trained healthcare professionals under the Uganda Prison Service on pharmacovigilance as a way to enhance their capacity to report drug-related reactions among the patients under their care. This was witnessed as the authority hosted over 100 healthcare personnel in Kampala.
The National Drug Authority has trained healthcare professionals under the Uganda Prison Service in monitoring and reporting of drug adverse reactions. During the training of healthcare professionals in prison service, National Drug Authority urged medical workers to emphasize early monitoring and thorough prescription of medicines to inmates.
Read about the diseases you are treating. Point number 2, read about the drugs you are giving, because you are an expert, the drugs you are giving to these patients. Point number 3, read about probable side effects of these drugs you are giving. But most importantly, explain to your patients what you are giving and what can cause. And please give patients time so that you can get the evidence. If you don't do it, the witch doctors are going to take the part and the place of the doctors who are conventional.
A representative of the Commissioner General Uganda Prison Service advised health workers to always seek knowledge from their counterparts about medicines and their reactions before giving it to the inmate.
It's a part of assignment so that in future we abide by the rules and regulations of the drug consumption, the medicinal consumption. In our system, reporting is one of the most cardinal things, Mr. Chair. What we are going to tell these people today, they will start doing it tomorrow. That one I'm very sure about it.
The authority's public relations manager, Apias Rwamwiri, urged health workers in prisons to take it as a responsibility to stay vigilant and report any side effects of drugs consumed by inmates.
Key thing that even when you are a physician, it is very important that we as National Drug Authority, who are responsible to regulating drugs, we get to know how people are reacting to drugs so that it helps us to take regulatory actions to protect the public.
Joshua Kagoro, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has cautioned the public against self-medication, saying it's a major contributing factor to antimicrobial resistance. The Commissioner of Pharmacy and Natural Medicine at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Seru Morris, was speaking to the media in regards to the second Uganda Pharma Health Expo that which will take place from the 6th to the 10th of February this year.
Antimicrobial resistance is a situation where germs like bacteria and fungi develop the ability to defeat the drugs designed to destroy them. Cases of antimicrobial resistance now range not only in humans, but also in most living organisms. The Ministry of Health now attributing the antimicrobial cases to self-medication in public.
You'll agree with me, there's a lot of self-medication. Some of you go and pick an antimicrobial and you don't take a full dose. But not only as a Ministry of Health, but globally, antimicrobial resistance has been now is at the forefront. Now the next drive we are coming to you, to the public, so that we tell you to understand that it's not good for self-medication.
The Commissioner of Pharmacy and Natural Medicine at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Seru Morris, says ministry is working with other stakeholders to avert the challenge.
What we put in our clinical guidelines. Now we're going to get we have a clinical guidelines that is coming out. In fact, it's in the final process because we're waiting for printing and dissemination.
Stakeholders and pharmaceutical dealers have promised to rally support to the government in addressing antimicrobial resistance.
We have also gone ahead, again working with the National Drug Authority, to start production of ready-to-use therapeutic food. This is very important for children who need nutritional support. As you are aware, medication without nutritional support may not yield the expected clinical outcomes.
The second annual Uganda Pharma Health Expo will see over 70 local and international pharmaceuticals showcasing different drugs at Uganda Manufacturers Association grounds in Lugogo from 16th to 18th February this year.
And that explains why we partnered for the second time with our friends, the Exhibitions and Trade Services India, the Ministry of Health and all the partners here to organize the second edition, what we're calling the Uganda Pharma Healthcare 2023 exhibition that will be held here at Woma Showgrounds from 16th to 18th February 2023.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Amongi has reiterated her position on the 6 billion shilling saga and National Social Security Fund, saying the request was made in the spirit of the law. Minister Amongi says the strategies she produced were aimed at growing the fund. This comes at a time when both the Minister for Finance, Matia Kasaija, and the Board of Directors of NSSF deemed Minister Amongi's request irregular and out of order.
The Parliament Select Committee investigating National Social Security Fund has engaged Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Among, Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development Matia Kasaija, and the former Managing Director of NSSF Richard Byarugaba.
It will be a big subject in the talk tomorrow when we are examining the 6 billion shillings that you've all famously had.
Accordingly, Wilbur officials led by the CEO, Martin Nsoboga, told MPs that the land, which accommodates Workers' House, has no land title since a farm known as Alcon is in possession of the title, although the fund put a caveat on the title.
Yes, the best of the information we have, the title is not there and they are processing a special title.
The same applies to some of the plots of land at the Temangalo site, which land titles are not also under the ownership of NSSF. Not even Matia Kasaija, the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, who is the custodian of investment by the NSSF, has information about the land titles. On the 6 billion saga, the MPs have since registered satisfactory evidence that the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, requested for the funds independently outside the provisions of the budget process of NSSF.
Yes, the 6 billion, yes. I want to repeat. When I was passing the budget, I asked them, I want precedents that have been set. Give me Honorable Kasaija's letter approving the budget. I read that letter. When they brought, I saw areas that Honorable Kasaija had stressed that make sure you handle this. I lifted those areas and put in my letter of asking for additional budget information.
This is after a denial of participation by parties including the NSSF Board, Minister for Finance, Matia Kasaija, and the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, David Chibenge.
A ministry, you will present it.
So who asked for the money?
The 6 billion?
Yes.
It is not me. I heard it. Minister, I heard it somewhere.
Minister, you said you disagreed. You disagreed.
In the meeting, I disagreed.
You disagreed with who? In principle, with who?
With my colleague, the minister.
Oh,
Minister of Gender and Social Development.
Minister Betty Among reiterates that the request was made in the positive spirit of the NSSF Act.
I wrote to the chairman for the issue of 6 billion, not to the managing director. So my letter was asking the chairman.
Also pinning Minister Betty Among is a request she made to the chairman board of NSSF to approve funds to the tunes of 40 billion investment to the Grain Council in another strategy to grow the workers' savings. This has also been contested since Minister Amongi has no jurisdiction of performing due diligence on behalf of the NSSF.
Wrote the board chairman requesting for 46 billion,
for 40 billion,
for 40 billion to Grain Council. Did I participate? I never participated.
The select committee is chaired by Mbarara City South Member of Parliament, Mwine Mpaka.
You would feel really bad. In fact, I call myself a victim. I know the Honorable Minister and the fund have tried to portray me as a villain. And to be quite frank, I am a victim and I feel really bad.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Well, with that, we take a quick break. We return with more details. This is News Tonight.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Fun battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Multi Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Multi Technologies, your professional research firm.
The Tales of Kasese, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasese. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasese, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasese does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. Now in business news, Uganda National Farmers Federation with the Innovation Village have signed partnership aimed at promoting digital technologies in the agricultural sector. Over 2.5 million farmers targeted by the initiative will benefit from the implementation of technology that will not only facilitate market linkages but also increase productivity across the agricultural value chain.
Agriculture sector is the least digitalized in the country, and the limited adoption of technology innovations across the value chain continues to undermine the competitiveness of the sector.
Zero down on the fact that with ICT, a farmer is able, first of all, to know where the services are, to know who to contact for a particular service, be it inputs, which is one of the most critical services farmer need, quality inputs.
Adoption of digital technology across the entire value chain will boost productivity, improve the household income of farmers, and contribute towards the socio-economic growth.
Partnership, we're targeting to influence the lives of 2.5 million farmers, specifically to create an agent network of at least 3,000 agents who will be extending services to those 2.5 million farmers.
As the Federation of Farmers brings the farmers, we're encouraging the Federation of Microfinance Institutions to be able to look at the very farmers to be able to access finance for them to support their activities.
The multi-wallet digital solution that Uganda National Farmers Federation and the Innovation Village are introducing will enable smallholder farmers in rural areas access services offline and off-grid.
We have these cards, they're going to be different for each service provider that we integrate with, because they onboard farmers for different services. So the last mile person will have this in their hand, and when they meet an agent or extension worker, they'll be able to tap, authenticate, and access that service. And this is available offline, off-grid.
By the end of this program, we hope to have 2.5 million farmers or more digitized, able to transact, able to access information on different services that they want, but also for any service provider that comes into the space to be able to know where to find who does what.
The 3-year partnership will enable the Farmers Federation collect data and create solutions for the enhancement of the agriculture sector. Agriculture contributes about 24% of Uganda's GDP, 31% of its export earnings, and all food requirements. Charlotte Amuge and Juma Samba for UBC News.
Well, that does it for News Tonight for now. We do return at 10 o'clock. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Do stick around.